What's up everyone, Dozer here from the Historic Brawl Hub bringing you another video. So again, this week is our fun week where we're playing no banless Historic Brawl. We've got a really good match this week, so we've got Aragorn piloted by Yohan. Now, Yohan actually had the best record in the previous season piloting this deck. Additions, since there's no ban list, Minsk and Boo, Oko, Thief of Crowns, Teferi, 3 Fairy Time Raveler, Drannith Magistrate, Meddling Mage, Omnath, Locust of Creation, so lots of crazy powerful cards on already a very powerful deck that was piloted to the top of the regular season rankings. So luckily we're bringing Winota, bringing our own spice and heat here, something that can keep up with Aragorn. So our goal this game, get under Aragorn, because if Aragorn sticks on the battlefield and lasts for any significant amount of time, we'll lose this match, right? So unfortunately we already lost the coin flip, so we're going to keep this second 7 here. If we draw lands, we'll be good, right? So we got Gingerbrute into a Danto Vanguard, into either the Drannith. I mean, we got lots of ways to either the stacks out and prevent the Aragorn from coming down, or create enough of a board so that when Winota hits, we're feeling really, really good. Interesting card. I haven't played with this one often, but I mean, it's got keyword soup on it, so no lands yet. So we're just going to play this Drannith, right? So we're just going to keep it out. If it draws out removal, that's fine. We'll play Curse of Silence and or the Peacekeeper in the following turn to keep this Aragorn off the field for a while. So feeling really good about where we are, but we just need to draw some lands here. If we don't, we have Vanguard for Indestructible Blocker. So they're already hitting their land drops. They got 3 of their colors, so they're feeling pretty good. They could just bring Lutri into their hand at this point as well, so we'll see there. Ah, great. So here's the thing, probably should just hit the Skrelv here, put it at the Gwenna, see if they make a mistake. They're not, they're a very good pilot. They're going to protect it with Skrelv. This is going to really snowball the game for them quickly, so they'll protect it. I mean, we could go after the Skrelv here. Yeah, I mean, going after it doesn't really do much, so let's play this. While we still have the Drannith, there's no need to play the Curse, right? They can't play Aragorn, so they would need to have enough to either they'd have to play land, remove Drannith, and have Aragorn all in one turn, which seems tricky to do. So I think we're fine this turn. If they remove the Drannith, then we'll have to play the Peacekeeper. And if we don't draw lands, then Curse of Silence is probably our only play anyway. Thinking. Yeah, this card is so good. I found like Gwenna actually, in certain circumstances, is better than Saldala, and it's kind of crazy to think that or say that. It just works in, it doesn't have as high of a ceiling, but just I think works better in most decks. It's a very powerful 3-mana dork that if you can keep it alive, it just does crazy things. So there's gonna bring Lutri into the hand. That's fine. I mean, that 1 mana smells like Mana Tithe. If it was Source of Plowshares, Drannith would be gone already, right? So that looks like Mana Tithe, so you still have interaction. So yeah, so Winota really needs to be coming on turn 5. Let's see if we're accurate there. I'm not sure what 1 white mana spell would be. So we really got to be careful here. I mean, we could try to bait it out with Adeline or Boromir. Yeah, I mean, they're keeping that 1 white mana up automatically with Auto Tapper instead of keeping up the dual land. I mean, that just is super suspicious. So, alright, so Selfless Savior. Or everything's indestructible. So this is getting out of hand quickly. I mean, I need lands. Perfect. I mean, so here's a Mana Tithe, right? So do I run it out with Adeline and bait it out? If they're smart, they know I win with Winota, so they may not even counter it. So I think I just do Peacekeeper and just really do my best to keep Aragorn off the board. I mean, we're now at the point where you could get removal spell Aragorn in the same turn, so this will prevent that from happening, and I get to see a peek into their hand to see what they have. So they're debating to see if the Mana Tithe is worth it or not. And there it is. I mean, if you want to Lutri a Mana Tithe, kudos to you. I don't think it's a great line, so Aragorn is really the only play here. So both of us are kind of having not the greatest of draws here. I mean, they're going to have to draw something to dig them out, like the One Ring or something that will draw them cards, and I just need lands. I need 2 specifically to get out of this. 3 if they keep the Lutri Mana Tithe line. So, but I can play around it. I got enough on the board to not die anytime soon. Did they get card draw is the question. What would be red card draw? Escape from the Wilds, maybe? And multicolor? I don't know. Oh, well, there's card draw. You're going to Lutri that? I guess you'd bet it better than Lutriing this Mana Tithe, right? So draw 2, play 2 lands. Seems okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the best line you've got. Try to dig out of it. I do the same thing. Nice to see Lutri actually played, right? Like, it doesn't feel busted here. It doesn't feel broken here. It's a good body. You got to put a lot of investment into this. And we're already in a kind of stale mid-game, so call me crazy, but I think Lutri is fine for Historic Brawl. Even in Standard. And for those copy decks, like the decks that Hazor just played in the tournament, I mean, it's just another piece that would just be fantastic, right? So, and to win with those decks, you really need to know how to pilot those copy decks. They're not easy to pilot. All right, well, lands the hard way, I guess. So I guess I play this and then swing in weirdly. I don't know if it's worth it here. So let's just completely turn off Aragorn. I just have protection up with the Alseid. If I swing here, right, it'll be Ginger Brute, unblockable. Yeah, there's nothing else here that I really want. It's gotta be Aragorn. Yeah. Probably down to Vanguard, indestructible. My third, I don't like any of my third options, so I'll probably wait for the lifelinker next turn. I mean, this game is just slow. I mean, they don't have any other draw, right? If they get something like the One Ring or Escape the Wilds or anything along those lines where they start drawing massive amounts of cards, then I'm in trouble. But I feel like where we are now is fine. I have some bombs waiting, and all I need is one swing with Winota, and this game will turn on its head. I wonder if they think my 1 mana is for Mana Tithe too. I wish. But I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. You got so much mana with the Gwenna as well. I mean, they've got a great board. They got ramp, they got double protection, right? With essentially hexproof with the Skrelv and a full body indestructible. You've got a great attacker and blocker with your Boros creature there. Your mana's fixed. I mean, you've got a great setup. You just need to, of course, you just need to get the One Ring. So now I'm in trouble, right? Because I need to swing with 3 creatures next turn to flip the Legions. I think I still will anyway, and lose the lifelinker here just to get the lands. I really just need the lands, and I need to get a Winota activation. Otherwise, this One Ring will beat me. They already have 22 life, so they've got plenty of time on it. So I'm going to have to make some unfavorable attacks here. That doesn't help either. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what the One Ring will do. You went from Mana Tithe and Lutri in your hand to an incredible presence and the opportunity just to steamroll me. So, alright, let's see what we get here. Interesting. I mean, that would have been good last turn. But I only had 1 mana up, so it wouldn't have mattered. So let's make unfavorable attacks. Ginger Brute, Vanguard, and probably the token. Lose token, take 4 life. Ginger Brute will be unblockable, make the extra mana with Legion's Landing flipping, which will give me 4 mana. I mean, I'll have to use 1 for the Ginger Brute, so it can be 3. So I'll still have protection with the Owl Seed and Reprieve up for whatever big creature they play. So, and then next turn, if I draw a land, I'll have the 5 for Mana Tithe, and I'll have 2 activations on board, which isn't great. It'll be 3. I assume with the Owl Seed I get 3, and that's actually fine. That should be put me in a good place. Yeah, I mean, the Voice of Resurgent here dying is not ideal either. And that's the right block. It'll make, what, a 6/6? Which will block anything I get. I mean, if I draw one of my Brutal Cathar type effects, it'll just be a token which will disappear forever, but a 6/6 is still a great blocker in an aggro setting. So, we'll leave 1 up for protection for the Anointed. We'll leave Reprieve up, because they're about to draw a bunch of cards. I guess the beauty of the One Ring here is with Winota, I just need to get you to like 4 life. I don't even have to kill you, and the ring will do the rest. So maybe the One Ring will kill them. I doubt it though. Yeah, swinging into guaranteed protection felt awkward, but at least we were able to get the land out of it. So thinking about it. I mean, it's kind of crazy we still haven't had anything for the Dranith yet. I mean, I still have protection for it, so I can keep Aragorn off forever, but I think my play line here, though, speaking of that, is maybe sacking the Dranith here, right? So I'm going to block with the Dranith, protect my life. My life total is very low. I can't take the 6. And then bait the Aragorn with all the extra taxes on it. Seems like an odd play, but it's done its job, right? And it's not going to give me any Winota triggers. It's not going to do anything else. So here, and then have them basically time walk themselves, swinging with the Aragorn, go to their hands, and they'll still have the 2 extra tax from Anointed Peacekeeper. So I think it's just like a better than getting 2 or 3 other spells or other blockers out. It's a risky line, right? But I mean, it's kept Aragorn off for I don't know how many turns it's been already, but a decent number, right? So, and as an aggro deck, this game should have been over a while ago if I actually wanted to win this game, right? Which I do, but the land screw here has been painful. I'm not running a No, that's got to stay, right? They'll tap your legends to bring out Aragorn. So, I'm running a few less lands than I'm Not Fine's list. I would check out I'm Not Fine's list as they prepare for their tournament that they're hosting as well. So they're hosting a tournament, a no ban list Historic Brawl tournament. So go over to their Discord. Great content, great deck lists available there as well. I think they're running 38 to 40 lands, and I'm running 36. So this is the risk you run when you have less lands, right? So, we'll see if I get... Oh, I think I gotta stop that one. Don't love it, but yeah. Yeah, so it's the risk you run when you have no lands. My goodness, I mean, this is ridiculous. So let's see if they forget about this Skrelv again. I could go after the Skrelv. Yeah, let's just go after the Skrelv. No. Let's see if they forget it. Go after the Selfish Savior and try to sack it to get everything else indestructible. We lost this bet once, but we're already so far behind. We gotta try it again. Yeah, I shouldn't have pointed. I mean, they're gonna know. Yohan's a great player. You're so far behind. I mean, what I need right here is a land off the top. Perfect. There's no mana left on the board. Drop Winota, pay the 1 for Mana Tithe, and have 3 amazing hits off these attacks. So step 1 and step 2 are good. Can we do it here, right? So gotta get 3 good hits. I mean, gotta pump them up, right? I mean, Spellbinder is a better card, but this will give us more power, and we just need to get them as close to 0 as possible. So let's drop that. Looking good here. Need another hit here. Oh, that's not gonna do it. And that's not gonna do it. Interesting that we didn't have any creatures, right? I run list lands to have more hits for humans, and I got screwed on both ends of the equation. So we're swinging only in now for 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 14. So I mean, they're going to block some of it. So the One Ring still wouldn't kill them anyway, but I don't see a world that I survive this next turn without making huge sacrifices, right? Like, I'd have to block the 6/6 with the Peacekeeper. I'm going to have to block something else with the Winota, and I'm still probably taking close to 7. If not, then, well, we stand a chance, I guess. But we'll play it out, because it's not guaranteed, but I think it's pretty close to a done deal here, especially with Oko turning something into an elk. You can either power your own things up, or you can turn off my Peacekeeper to make Aragorn cheaper. If I'm them, I'm playing Aragorn, then I'm playing Oko to give something the +4/+4 pump. Probably your Boros creature, which I think has trample, and this game is over, right? So Alseed, I'm probably not going to give protection. I need to gain some extra life. Go 9. Every little life here will matter. But if you take that Aragorn into at least 1 or 2 green spells, and things have trample, then we're done. See, they only had 5 life left, right? Like, if I hit 1 or 2 more creatures, this would have been... we would have snuck in there. I mean, the stacks out of Winota is very powerful if you have playing a deck that really, really relies on its commander as much as Aragorn. And I'm sure you'll see how powerful Aragorn is in just 1 second. So green spell, perfect. Perfect. Give you +4/+4 trample. I mean, that thing has all the keywords. And double strike. Play Oko. Do it again. Yeah, I mean, it's... math was impossible there. So, got a little screwed. They played well. Manatithe was a good holding it up. Kept me from doing things crazily. They played really, really tight. So yeah, so we'll go first this time, and this hand looks awesome. Skrelv into Goblin Crater Maker into Redain. Just really gives me the protection, threatens the board with another non-creature spell, blows up artifacts. Redain prevents any big non-creature spells coming out. It won't slow down Aragorn. If I don't get a 4th land, Benelish Marshal will then pump them all to start really coming in and swinging, but starting with 3 hands and a 1, 2, and 3 drop that are all non-creatures is exactly what you want to see if you're the Winota player. So I feel really good about this game, much better than the last one. They got a 1-drop too. Normally a very good one, not very good against us. Not playing many non-creatures. So Fry is a great inclusion in specifically no ban list. And the reason why is it can't be countered. And if you think of the top decks in no ban list, right? Or if I just think about what we're facing this week, or in particular, right? You've got Omnath Focus Creation, which is blue. You've got Aragorn is blue. Rusko is blue. Atraxa is blue. Well, that doesn't do enough damage there. Rafine is blue, and Oko's blue. Uro's blue. I mean, most of the most powerful cards in Commanders, Teferi, both 3 and 5 are blue. It will deal with most of them, and it's uncounterable. So I don't like to run a lot of non-creature spells, but there are 2 specifically in red. There's a 1-mana one and a 2-mana one that really punish the top tier commanders in the no ban list meta specifically. Having the Skrelv here for Redain also feels good, right? I mean, they've got 4 mana here potentially for Aragorn if they wanted to, but I could just kill it with the Fry. So them not playing anything is a little odd. So I don't think I mean, actually, let's just play Benelish, right? Like, you want to counter it? Great. Get the counter out of your hand for Winota. I run a lot of 3-drops in this list that are scary, and they're really purely because I need to do that exactly, right? Like, Winota's going to eat a counterspell or removal spell every day of the week. If you can get them out earlier because you have something really powerful in the 3 slot like that, or Adeline, or anything else. So they're smarter than I am, right? Like, they're actually going after the Skrelv, where I went after the other stuff last time. So if you can find your times to get those really powerful 3-drops that will bait the removal out so you can actually land the Winota, I think it's worth it. Um, a lot of other people, when they build their lists, put in more 1-drops as a result. They go almost kind of like the Kinnan route, right? Like, you have a bunch of low drops, like Mana Dorks, then you have a bunch of Haymakers on the top end. As the Kinnan decks evolved in our Historic Brawl Hub, there were more middle grounds, like 4-mana creatures and stuff like that, that didn't necessarily, you could play if Kinnan died, and I feel like the same way as I want to play Winota. So instead of playing Winota here, Aragorn is their lifeblood of the deck. You kill it, you can't counter it. I play more things for next turn. I have 4 bodies for Winota next turn here, and their whole deck revolves on Aragorn, right? Even more so than my deck. My deck can still beat you with aggro without Winota. So I'm just going to do everything I can to keep Aragorn off the board. This Thorn of Amethyst I've been playing with as well. I don't love it right now. I may get rid of it. Let me know what you think about the Thorn of Amethyst. Things like against Rusko, where you're trying to put together a bunch of 1 and 2 drops, it's absolutely amazing against. But in this matchup, it's not going to do as much as you think. Probably not going to do as much as you want in the Traxa either, because it's going to usually plays 1 or 2 big Haymakers a turn, plays a lot of things at instant speed as well, so it's really only there for Rusko. Wow, great hand. I mean, they're going to go after their game here.
Level with your king, wild and sovereign and free.
Interesting. They want to get extra blocking power.
Gaze into my
I mean, they are at 12
face
life,
and put
but
on
you
your
are
shoes.
basically tapped out. So Winota's going to do Winota things here. I'm going to swing with 4. Even if I get 2 hits, I feel good. So let's spin the wheel. Oh my goodness. Lena Selfish Champion is probably one of the most powerful hits here. So it gives all my board indestructible and makes a ton of tokens. Oh yeah, Eowyn coming in. And then double damage. I mean, that's it, right? So I made 5 soldiers off of that trigger for next turn if I didn't kill you this turn. So double damage, and Eowyn would have taken out any massive blocker. That card's great against Primeval Titan, it's great against Atraxa, and yeah, that's Winota. So game 3, again, going to be on the draw here. No white. I mean, Phoenix Chicken to Crater Maker feels great, but you can't tempt the no white. So I got mulligan. Okay, well now we've got the red. I don't love this hand, right? But we got turn 1 removal, so if you're trying to mana dork or something like that, you can get rid of it. Touch the Spirit Realm will get rid of Aragorn. Patriarch's Humiliation will also just turn off Aragorn, turns it into a 4-mana 5/5 without any abilities, which is fine. And Crater Maker gives me some kind of non-creature to start. So I don't love this, but I'll probably keep. Lena, you don't want to see in your opening hand, but if somehow this game goes long and you can drop her, gives everything indestructible and a bunch of soldiers that it creates, then you're feeling good, right? So white soldier, 2 tokens, again, not human, so you can make 4 or 5. You double your board, essentially, so when you play Winota next turn, you will not miss and hit whatever it is, 5, 6. Perfect, so extra lands. Now we got 4 lands, so game 1 was a little bit of an aberration, right? I mean, the risk you won with 36, but in the last 2 games, we've got to Winota mana fairly easily. So I think I get rid of, I think you bolt the bird here, right? Like, you gotta get rid of the Land War Elves. Aragorn, I have to play around it more than anything else, right? So if you can keep it delayed, we feel really, really good. So, and I also do another piece of removal there, the monk there at the end. Then it's another brutal Cathar type effect. So if they play a big beater, they play Aragorn, I can remove it, and then just kind of build up my board slowly for a massive Winota attack. So yeah, that's gonna go. That's gonna go here. So yeah, I might as well keep blocker as well, right? Weird again playing humans earlier. You want to play your non-humans, but I'm really just trying to keep this Aragorn off the board. So Compressive Iteration, fantastic card. We're probably going to see a land. The specialize in this for this card specifically in this deck really never happens. I mean, you use it for the removal, and if you have to get to a point where you specialize in that card, you've probably lost anyway. All right, so here comes our beater again. So we get Aragorn out, they're going to beat us there. So let's get some creatures out, right? So Winota does nothing here without. So Gear per. Double strike, no need to attack on the opposition. Don't want to give him Gwenna back. I'll take the damage if they swing in. Winning with 5 life is the same as winning with 25 life. I feel good here. I mean, they're going to play Winota. Sorry, they're going to play Aragorn, and I'm going to touch the Spirit Realm. Interesting they're swinging first. I'm not sure if they're going to try to board wipe or something. I don't know if they run board wipes. I don't think they would. So my question next turn is I could swing with the Hope of Gearper and turn off any counter magic. I have 2 up, still playing Aragorn. But now that I've drawn this 6 land, I can play Winota, bait out the counter magic, have Winota again the following turn. Remember when I said the very opening hand that Lena is great if you get the 6 drop? Yeah. We can still play Lena in 2 or 3 turns as well if we can't get to Winota and create 4 additional bodies. So I'm not going to sack the Gearper here, but in the future, I may try to keep Winota around and play her in the second main and turn off counter magic if that's something that is required. So that is a line. You never really want to play Winota in your second main because she just sits out there eating removal spells, but if they keep holding up blue and not playing Aragorn, then I feel like it's the right play to make. Looking at my gear per. And again, we're in a very similar situation to that first game now. You've got 3 cards in your hand, one of them being a Lutri. I really hope the other one's a Mana Tithe. I think that'd be really funny. It would be fun to peek. I don't think we'll be able to, unless we draw something like the Anointed Peacekeeper or the Elite Spellbinder. Yeah, I mean, they are doing the same thing I'm doing. They're respecting my commander as much as I respect theirs. So we are playing Game of Chicken here, and it's probably the right play. Right? If you run out Aragorn and you have no removal for Winota, and I get 2 triggers, there's a high chance that I take you out, right? So I think I'm going to swing in with the Gearper here. I think I'm going to sack the Gearper, so you can't counter the Lena. And I'm going to play Lena first, because this will create... Not only will it put a big beater on the board in Lena, or something bigger that's anything else on the board, so I'll block this thing that's dealing damage to me. It's going to create 3 more 1/1 soldier tokens that will trigger Winota. So when I eventually get to Winota, I'll have 4 triggers when you think about these 3 soldiers and the goblin. So I'll have, and with 4 triggers, Winota should close the game out. So, and the fact that you can sacrifice it and give all these things indestructible as well is absolutely amazing. So you can't counter this, you can't do anything with it. I mean, you can play your Lutri, but won't stop what we've got here. So now we've got protection. We got a big board. He can't swing in. If I'm them, I'm playing Aragorn here. And for me, I'm not going to play Winota into that. I'm going to play this safe. I got a bigger, yep. I'm going to play this safe. I'm going to remove the Aragorn. I have counter magic as backup. I already have a bigger board. No need to get greedy here. Probably could win with Winota, but there's a chance I miss. Remember in that first game, I whiffed 3 times out of 4, or 2 times out of 3, whatever it is. I think we go after the Aragorn. If they have anything to stop it, you don't. Great. I mean, I could play the Instigator here as well, or just keep the Reprieve up. Again, I have more value. I could remove this Boros creature. I think I will leave only 2 mana up. So even if you play Aragorn, you can't buff that thing. It's a great attacker, as we saw in the first round. We'll lose a soldier here, but let's start closing this game out with just good old-fashioned beatdown. Not how I thought this game would go, but having some of the removal, having some of the stacks has allowed us to really get here, and not just running every 1-drop creature. So if you have any suggestions on cards that I definitely should be playing, let me know. I've checked out I'm Not Fine's list, and there's definitely some cards there that I think I should include. I need to playtest a little bit more. It's hard to playtest these decks, right, because there's not a queue for it, but definitely some things that in theory could be better. So here comes Aragorn again. Reprieve it, send it back. And now, if you don't have removal for Winota, you lose the game. And even if you do have a removal for Winota here, you're still dealing with, there's the mana tithe. So they did have it with the Lutri. That is awesome. Okay, so Mimic of game 1, but I do have the lands this turn. So, oh, well, remember I just said about being greedy with Winota? We could do it. We could spin the wheel. But let's just get rid of Aragorn. They have nothing else on the board. You only have Lutri. It's the boring line. But I think it's the smart line. Yeah, I think they agree too. I mean, unless they draw something like Farewell, and then I get absolutely wrecked, but it's fine, you can get rid of that. I'm not worried. Yeah, they only have Lutri now, so they've got top deck something crazy, and my top deck will be Winota. So in that fight where I have a bigger board, and I can actually get immediate value out of my commander where they can't with Aragorn, I feel like we win this. So down to 10, and I'll have 3 triggers next turn, so there it is. Oh, and then, I mean, let's just do it again. I keep drawing removal spells. So this is the other one that does 5 damage uncounterably to a blue creature. So now they can't cast Aragorn next turn. Well, if they draw another land, they could, but that won't do them any good. And we'll be in the exact same situation. So here we go, down to 5. I probably won't even play Winota. Yeah, and good game. So those are the values of those uncounterable removal spells. I do think they're really valuable, showing the power here and just winning with good old-fashioned kind of mid-range beatdown. So thanks for the battles, Yohan. Again, check out I'm Not Fine's Discord for the tournament. Check out the Historic Brawl Discord. Subscribe to our YouTube for great content. And the third match of my week should be brought to you shortly by Myriad. So Myriad recorded from their end, so you'll get to see what facing down Winota looks like. So thanks again for watching, and have a good one.